Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And then remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Even though it's a Monday, we still celebrate. And I'm looking at this, and I don't know about this one because I don't know, National Pineapple Upside Down Cake Day. I don't know. I'm not sure I've ever had a piece of pineapple upside down cake. Is that a normal item? Is that something that's a regular out there? I don't know. That picture almost looks like a cheesecake of some sort with pineapple rings on top. I don't know. It's I've beaten anorexia and I like cake, but I don't know about that one. But I do know about the next one because, again, having beaten anorexia, I don't eat this a lot now, being that I'm on the weight loss journey, the health wellness journey. National Cheddar Fries Day. Now, I did notice on the image, if you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feed, you're probably seeing a great picture there now. It is very, very subtle in the picture, and it might be a little bit light in the amount for me, but it looks like there's some bacon on there. And you can never, ever go wrong when you add bacon to anything. So we are happy to see the bacon on there. Yeah. Yahoo! Yeah. Yahoo! National Cheese Fries Day. And no, I am not going to make any jokes about National 420 Day. Don't ask. I'm not going to do it. You can't push me into that one. Let's see what the markets are doing today. Well, it's a mixed market. So now we're looking at the S&P 500 is down 100 points. It was up earlier, down earlier. The NASDAQ is down 143. S&P 500 is down 29. Oil is up $5.21 a barrel. We don't like to see that. Do we want to take a look at what gas prices are doing? Well, I'll look at them, but I'll also tell you that you know that I broadcast from California. We have Gavin gas prices, so it's $5.84 a gallon. No change from yesterday. We are down about a nickel from a week ago, and we are up about 20 cents from a month ago. National average, $4.04 a gallon, down a penny from yesterday, down about 8 cents from a week ago. So you take a look at that. California is down about 5 cents from a week ago. The national average down 8 cents. It's fitting. California, Gavin likes to tax us on everything, so our prices are higher than everybody else. California, and Gavin's excited that California is number one. It's amazing how the guy loves to brag about what he's done in California. Homelessness up, gas prices. The only thing that's down in California is our level of education. Unbelievable. Now, we are watching also very closely what's going on in the Middle East right now. Why? Because that's driving the gas price situation. Now, we're still looking at oil, $89 a barrel, not having as much impact as it once was, the movements of oil prices. President Trump says the ceasefire will end Wednesday, and he won't open the strait until there is a deal signed. So even though Iran said that the Strait of Hormuz was opened last week, the U.S. has the blockade there saying, yeah, it may be open, but Iran is not letting, there's nothing from Iran going through there. And if you watched, the U.S. did just take over a ship. And ironic enough, I mean, did you hear have you heard the transcription or the recording of what the U.S. Navy did? They basically announced the name of the tanker and then said, evacuate your engine room. It's real clear in there. Evacuate your engine room. Torpedo goes into the engine room, turns off the ship, and the Marines can go in and take over the ship. And it is a ship just sitting there without an engine. So, our military, they know what they're doing. And I don't know why Iran wants to keep testing them to see if they know what's going on. Drones, U.S. drones that are going through the strait looking for any mines that might have been put out there. And apparently the Iranian mines, the ships that put the mines down, they're on the bottom of the strait right now, not able to do anything. So looks like, I don't know what Iran is waiting for. They're trying to get whatever they can. And here's the issue. And if you listen to General Jack Keane this morning, retired General Jack Keane, he basically said that when they're sitting at the negotiating table, the negotiators may lean over and say, something, you don't want to sign this. You might want to get more life insurance because you may not have a lot of time left. I don't know what that means, but I have a feeling that the general has a good idea of what it means. This is going to come to an end fairly soon. I don't think it'll end in a good way for the IRGC and some of the leadership in Iran. It would be nice to see some of the old Shah of Iran folks come back, just because they were, that it's not the U.S. system, but it's probably a bit better than what they've been looking at in other areas. So we'll be watching it because it has an effect on mortgage rates. I don't do these things just because I like to follow it. I don't mention it on the show because it's fun. My reference here on Ron Siegel Radio is because it affects our mortgage rates, our interest rates. And right now, according to Mortgage News Daily as a reference point, 30-year fixed rate, 6.29%. The 10-year treasury I look at right now, 4.26%. Subtract one from the other, 2.03. There is still room for a bit of compression in there to get back to the historic norms. Normally, if you look at the 10-year treasury, 4.26, add 1.8, and that's where a 30-year mortgage would be. Again, those are the perfect scenario. No one has the perfect scenario. You're looking at a high FICO, a purchase loan, single-family residence. That's what they're looking at. And if that's what you look for, then you would be able to go there. None of us are perfect. Some people have higher FICO scores. Some have lower FICO scores. Some are putting more money down. Some are putting less money down. And we're going to be talking about that a lot because first-time home buyers, we're going to talk about you right today on the broadcast. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, the 10 best markets for first-time buyers this spring. First-time buyers are leaving thousands on the table. That will be our workshop for the day. And you'll want to listen to that carefully because within that workshop, we're going to give you a lot of resources that you can actually go and access right from the links that we give you during the workshop. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by did we go quiet, Josh? Can you hear me now? Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry. Calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you need to put in your mortgage calculator to determine your principal and interest payment. If you don't have a mortgage calculator, shame on you. We've published about 70 financial aid calculators. There's about 70 of them, and they're all available to you at no cost to you. rsrlinks.com/calculators, rsrlinks.com/calculators. What did the rates do yesterday? Or Friday, I guess it is, because there were no rates yesterday. Friday, conventional 30-year fix, 6.187. That was down. Jumbo 30-year fix, 6.433. That was down. FHA 30-year fix, 6.017. That was down. VA 30-year fix, 5.805. That was down. The only one that was up was the USDA loan, rural areas, if you qualified, no down payment. 5.883. That was the only one that was up. If you want our thoughts about the market each and every business day morning as early as the data allows, rsrlinks.com/HBOD, rsrlinks.com/HBOD. What are the markets doing today? Well, the S&P 500 right now is down 33 points. 10-year Treasury is up about 2 basis points, 4.26. And we're looking at the mortgage bond. That's down 14 basis points. Bond down, rates up. So that's down 14 basis points. So rates are a little bit higher today than they were on Friday. All of that's available on the super secret website, google.com. You don't tune into us for that information. You tune into us to hear about why it's happening. Oil prices higher this morning as the fragile negotiations between the U.S. and Iran took a turn this weekend. Again, oil prices up 5.25 per barrel, 89.08. On Friday, there was a lot of optimism as Iran said they were fully opening the Strait of Hormuz after the ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon. But then on Saturday, they closed it once again, blaming the U.S. for continuing to have the naval blockade through the strait. Additionally, the U.S. seized an Iranian cargo ship to which Iran said they would retaliate. Trump said that the U.S. will arrive in Pakistan today for a second round of peace talks, but Iran denies it and says there are no talks planned. Hard to know what to believe and what is real. Tomorrow, the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran expires, So the markets are nervously waiting for updates on progress. As a result, stocks are lower after setting all-time highs on Friday, while bonds are slightly lower but hanging in there. And I did notice that this morning there was a headline that came out at 8:06 California time. President says ceasefire will end Wednesday and won't open the strait until the deal is signed. Guess there's no more waiting game for those folks in Iran. Kevin Warsh has previously said that he felt they could cut rates because AI will boost productivity and reduce inflation, giving the Fed a path. He referenced looking forward like Fed Chair Greenspan did in the 90s. And we know that Jerome Powell,
such an idiot.
Yes, he doesn't look forward. He looks backward. So it'd be nice to see what the headlines look for. And one of the reasons that Kevin Warsh, who is the nominee to be our new Fed chair, our next Fed chair, Trueflation, which has a more real-time look at where inflation is, their headline number right now is 1.7%. That includes food and energy, so it includes the spike in gas prices. 1.7% is their real-time number. So hopefully he'll get he has a hearing, I guess tomorrow at 10. 7 o'clock our time. Gonna get grilled, I'm sure. Tom Tillis still expected to block the confirmation as the probe is still ongoing into the Fed's renovation project. So spending $2 billion on a building, I guess Tom Tillis doesn't think that the Congress should be there should be no oversight when the government spends $2 billion on something. Quiet week ahead with the Middle East headlines likely driving market direction. Tuesday, we get retail sales and pending home sales. Wednesday, basically nothing new. Thursday, basically nothing new. So it is a quiet week other than what happens in the Middle East. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, 10 best markets for first-time buyers this spring and a workshop. First-time buyers are leaving thousands on the table. Why? We'll get into it. Reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. The 10 best markets for first-time buyers this spring. For a while, buying your first home hasn't just felt hard. It may have felt out of reach. Not because you weren't ready, not because you weren't trying, but because every time you ran the numbers, they didn't work. That's why so many first-time buyers stepped back. But after years of sitting on the outside looking in, this spring could give buyers like you an opening again, especially in some markets. Metros where buyers may have an easier time breaking into the market. Zillow just released a list of the top 50 metros for first-time buyers this spring. And here's a quick snapshot of the top 10. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing the list. Number 1, Jacksonville, Florida. Number 2, Birmingham, Alabama. Number 3, San Antonio, Texas. Number 4, Atlanta, Georgia. Number 5, Houston, Texas. I'm looking at the whole chart, and you can see it there as well. I don't see any in California. According to Zillow, in these top 10 ranked markets, median income households can afford 68% of all homes for sale. Let that sink in. Not long ago, it felt like you could barely afford anything. Now you may actually have some options again. That doesn't mean every home is suddenly going to fit your budget, but it does mean the door that felt closed for so many buyers is starting to crack back open. And in a number of cities, first-time buyers may finally be getting a shot at buying. These cities are rising to the top, not because of any one big change, but from a few smaller ones finally lining up. As Orphy, senior economist at Zillow, explains, quote, first-time buyers are finally seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. Affordability is still a challenge, but rising incomes, stabilizing prices, and improving inventory are creating real opportunities in parts of the country. The strongest markets for first-time buyers, they'll find more choices, less competition, and a clearer path to home ownership than they've had in years. Basically, 3 big things are working in your favor. More homes are hitting the market. Realtor.com says inventory is up 8.1% compared to last year. That gives you more choices, less pressure, and more chances to find a place that fits your budget. Price growth is moderating, so homes aren't moving further out of reach as quickly. Some may even be falling back within your target price point. Incomes are rising. If you have more money, that can offset some of the affordability challenges as well. And even though mortgage rates have been higher lately, that combination can still make a difference, as Mark Fleming, chief economist at First American, explains, quote, income growth has outpaced house price growth for 19 straight months, boosting house buying power, even as mortgage rates remain elevated, unquote. How to find the opportunities in your market if your city didn't make the top 10 list or even the top 50 markets. Here's what you really need to remember. There's going to be opportunities in every market if you know where to look. Even in the same city, 2 buyers can have completely different experiences. As a big part of that, who they choose as their partner. The right agent knows how to find pockets of opportunity in any market. That could mean a neighborhood where prices haven't climbed as quickly, a part of town with more inventory, or a new build community offering incentives so builders can sell their inventory. So even if your city didn't make the list, that's okay. There's still an opening for you. You just need your agent to help you find it. Resources for you. rsrlinks.com/FTHB. rsrlinks.com/FTHB. That is our first time home buyers guide. rsrlinks.com/FTHB. Make sure you take a look at getting your household finances in order. rsrlinks.com/keysteps. rsrlinks.com/keysteps. Get in there, get your budget in order, get your credit scores in order. Go do it. Bottom line, for a long time, first-time buyers have felt stuck, waiting for their turn to buy. But for some buyers, this spring might be the first time in a while where things start to feel more within reach again. Want to see which neighborhoods could give you the best shot at buying right now? Give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we've got a workshop for you, Mortgage 101. First-time buyers are leaving thousands on the table. Are you one of them? Why would you do that? Save time. We're going to talk about it. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Mortgage 101, a workshop. Mortgage 101 brought to you by rsrlinks.com. You'd think I would know. rsrlinks.com/keysteps, I think we did. rsrlinks.com/keysteps. If you're thinking about buying your first home in 2026, there is a good chance someone has already told you it can't be done. Rates are too high. Prices are too high. Supply is too low. And somewhere in your head, a little voice says, maybe they're right. Well, let me be the guy who tells you the truth. It can be done. It is being done. And the first-time buyer who walks in with a plan almost always walks out with the keys. I am Ron Siegel, Certified Liability Advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Welcome to today's first-time home buyer workshop. Today we are going to talk about the single biggest purchase most people will ever make, a first home, and the mistakes that keep good people sitting on the sidelines while the market moves on without them. Let's start with a question most folks get wrong. What actually makes someone a first-time home buyer? You might be surprised. You do not have to be 22 years old and fresh out of your parents' basement. The rule is pretty simple. You qualify as a first-time buyer if you have never owned a single-family home, or if you have not owned one in the last 3 years, or if you are a displaced homemaker or a single parent who only ever owned a home jointly with a spouse. Again, 3 years. That means a whole lot of people listening right now think they do not qualify when in fact they absolutely do. And first-time buyer status opens doors. It means lower down payments. It means access to special programs. It means grants and assistance money that repeat buyers cannot touch. If you want a complete walkthrough of the first-time buyer journey from the first conversation all the way to the closing table, grab our free first-time home buyer's guide. Go to rsrlinks.com/FTHB. That's rsrlinks.com/FTHB. Bookmark it today. So let's walk through the process the smart way. Step 1, know how much house you can actually afford. Not what the lender says you're approved for, what you're comfortable paying every single month, even when the water heater goes out, even when the property taxes go up, even when your car needs tires. There is a quick rule of thumb. Take your gross monthly income before taxes and divide by 4. That gives you a starting target for your total housing payment. And when I say total, I mean principal, interest, property taxes, homeowners insurance, and if you are in a condo or planned community, your HOA dues too. Add it all together. That is your real payment. Most lenders today will stretch housing costs up to around 38% of your gross income, give or take a little. Just because they'll let you go there does not mean you should, but it gives you a sense of the ceiling. And do not forget closing costs. Now, you want to start getting that budget together, rsrlinks.com/keysteps, rsrlinks.com/keysteps. Now, talking about closing costs, those usually run 2 to 5% of the purchase price. On a $500,000 home, that is $10,000 to $25,000 out of pocket, so plan for it. This is where a lot of first-time buyers get paralyzed. How do you actually build a budget around a house you have not bought yet? Again, great tool I offer called Key Steps. It'll walk you through the numbers step by step. You know exactly what you can handle before you ever talk to a real estate agent. Again, rsrlinks.com/keysteps. That's rsrlinks.com/keysteps. It's free and is the single best place to start. Step 2, shop your lender. Please, I am begging you. More than 60% of home buyers already shop more than one lender, and yet somehow almost 40% of the buyers still just pick whoever their real estate agent says to call. Listen, your agent's wonderful. Your agent's preferred lender may also be wonderful, but you owe it to yourself to get a real second opinion. And here's something most people never stop to think about. Brick and mortar banks can be very good at understanding their own loan programs. They know their own menu front to back, but they don't understand the brick and mortar on the opposite corner. They can't tell you what the bank across the street is offering because that is not their job. Their job is to sell you their products. That's where a mortgage broker comes in. A mortgage broker is your personal shopper. We shop dozens of lenders at once for you for free. And we bring back the best option for your situation. That is how you make sure you're getting the actual best deal in the marketplace, not just the best deal one bank happens to offer on a Tuesday. And here's the thing. Not all lenders are the same. Rate matters, but fees matter too. Origination charges, points, lender credits, title costs. Two lenders can quote the same rate, and you can still end up paying thousands more with one of them. This is exactly why we built what we call our Second Look Advantage program. If you already have a loan quote from somebody else, let us review it for free. No pressure, no strings, just a second set of eyes. Go to rsrlinks.com/2ndlook. We'll tell you straight up if the deal you were offered is a good one, and if it is great, keep it. But if it's not, you'll be very glad you asked. Again, rsrlinks.com/secondlook. That's rsrlinks.com/2ndlook. Step 3, shop for houses. This is the fun part. Make your must-have list. Make your would-be nice list, and make a list of someday maybe, or your dream list. If you find a house that has all of your must-haves and some or most of your would-be nices and some of the dream list, well, you found the right property. Pick a primary target and a couple of backups, because sometimes the one you love falls through and you don't want to start over from scratch emotionally. Your buyer's agent will handle the offer paperwork and the back and forth counteroffer dance. Step 4, with an accepted offer in hand, get real written loan offers from your top lenders. And here's a pro tip. Most people miss this one. Ask every lender to give you a 0 discount point quote. That way you're comparing apples to apples. So what is a discount point? It's a fee, a percentage of your loan amount that you pay up front to bring your interest rate down. A lot of folks hear that and run the other way. They never want to pay a point. But as we say all the time, strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. In the right situation, discount points are a very powerful tool, and we use them regularly when the math makes sense. You can see exactly how at rsrlinks.com/buydown, rsrlinks.com/buydown. And here's the piece almost nobody talks about. Discount points work in both directions. We can also run them in reverse as a credit back to you. So if you're only staying in the house a short period of time, or if you don't have a lot of cash for closing costs, we can use that same tool to actually help you cover closing costs. Same mechanism, used strategically. That's the difference between eligibility and suitability. Then and only then decide whether buying points to lower your rate or taking a credit the other way makes sense for your situation. Step 5, close the loan. 3 days before closing, you get your closing disclosure. Read it. Compare it to your original loan estimate. If something changed, ask why. That's your right as the borrower. Now, before we get into the next subject, I do want to make sure that you know about our certified buyer program, rsrlinks.com/certified buyer. Most all of us have a smartphone, either an iPhone or a Google phone. Most of us have a wallet within those. The Certified Buyer Program is a 5-step process, and you can go look at the whole thing, rsrlinks.com/certified buyer, rsrlinks.com/certified buyer, and you can go in there and look. Part of the process after we have that initial consultation and we find out what you're pre-approved for, we issue you a pass to go in your Apple Wallet or Google Wallet that you can show anybody anytime how to get that you've already been pre-approved with a great lender. Yes, our team and I do say we're a great lender. Would you be upset if I didn't think that? I certainly would be. So the bottom line is get certified, rsrlinks.com/certified buyer, where we're going to actually even watch over you for the rest of our relationship forever. Now, let's talk about credit for a minute, because this is where I see first-time buyers get absolutely scared off when they should not be. You do not need perfect credit to buy a house. You can get an FHA loan with a FICO score as low as 500 with 10% down, or 580 with just 3.5% down. You can get a conventional loan with a 620 score. That said, the higher your score, the better your pricing. At 760 or above gets you the best interest rates available on any product. So if your scoring is sitting at, say, 710 and you're a few months away from buying, there's real money to be made by pushing that number up. Not hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars over the life of the loan. If you have not pulled your FICO score recently, if you don't even know where to start, simple tool, rsrlinks.com/FICO, rsrlinks.com/FICO. It'll show you exactly where you stand, because here's the truth. You cannot improve what you do not measure. Now, that is a real FICO score. Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, great tools. They're not giving you the true FICO score. Now, let me bust one of the biggest myths out there, the one that keeps more first-time buyers on the sidelines than anything else. You do not need 20% down to buy a home. You do not. That is an old idea from your parents' generation, and it is killing deals that should be happening today. Here's what's actually available in the real world. Conventional loan programs for first-time buyers start at just 3% down. FHA loans start at 3.5% down. VA loans, if you qualify, require 0% down. Go to rsrlinks.com/VA loan. rsrlinks.com/VA loan. Is it VA loan or VA loans, Josh? rsrlinks.com/ let's see if I've got it in here as well. rsrlinks.com/VA loan, singular. rsrlinks.com/VA loan. You can actually see a lot of education on there. rsrlinks.com/VA loan. Again, 0% down if you qualify. USDA loans in qualifying areas also require 0% down. And then there are down payment assistance programs, both government and nonprofit, where a qualified buyer can come in with as little as 1 or 2% out of pocket, sometimes even less. So before you tell yourself you need to save for another 2 or 3 years, let's have a conversation. Let's put together a game plan. You might be a whole lot closer to ready than you think. Let me hit the other loan programs worth knowing about, because the type of loan you choose can change your down payment by hundreds of dollars a month. VA loans, if you served, you can buy a home with 0 down. Period. End of story. rsrlinks.com/VA loan. USDA loans, if you're looking in a rural area and your income qualifies, you can also buy with 0 down. Home Ready and Home Possible from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are conventional options with just 3% down. And here's one that does not get enough airtime. If you own your own business, or you're a gig worker, an Uber driver, a consultant, a real estate agent, a freelancer, you are not shut out of the market. There are specialized non-traditional loan programs built specifically for self-employed borrowers, bank statement loans, profit and loss loans, asset-based qualifying. These programs look at how you really earn a living, not just what shows up on line 31 of your Schedule C. A good mortgage advisor will know which program fits your situation. A bank across the street probably will not even offer it. Bottom line, down payment is almost never the real barrier anymore. Credit is almost never the real barrier anymore. Even income structure is almost never the real barrier anymore. The real barrier is not knowing which program fits your situation and not having somebody in your corner who can shop the whole market for you. So here's what I want you to do today. Stop guessing. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment does not exist. It never has. Start with Key Steps, free tool I offer that tells you exactly where you stand financially and exactly what your next move should be. Go to rsrlinks.com/keysteps. That's rsrlinks.com/keysteps. Get your first home is not a dream. It is a plan, and the plan starts today. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to Mortgage 101, brought to you by rsrlinks.com/keysteps. That's rsrlinks.com/keysteps. As always, I ask that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.